When chatting with people early in my campaign, a lot of questions related to the structure and role of municipal government. Ultimately, municipal politics is confusing and many people wonder why we should care about it. So in this video, I'm going to explain the essence of municipal government and its purpose, what municipal government looks like in Selwyn Township, and why municipal government is important in general. To begin, what is municipal government? What's its purpose? And where did it come from? To answer these questions, we have to jog down history lane. Canada's system of government mimics that of Britain, so historically we see Canadian municipalities mirroring the structure and function of those found in Britain. The oldest is actually traced back to 1075 under the City of London. I think that's pretty crazy. These bodies were and still are called municipal corporations, meaning they weren't directly related to the state. They were expected to oversee the business of residents living in a specific area, and they were established to keep order and raise money for authorities who were part of the state. When Canada established in 1867, the Constitution made municipalities the responsibility of provinces. Provinces then had to create legislation not only to establish but also to operate municipalities. The beginning of municipal government in Ontario dates to 1849 with the first municipal act, which we call the Baldwin Act, and this laid out the structure of municipal government that really we see today. Fast forward, however, we see some changes to the Baldwin Act over time, but it isn't until 2001 that the province of Ontario wrote a more robust version called the Municipal Act, and some people actually say it's more democratic. This defines municipalities as a geographic area whose inhabitants are incorporated. That's clear as mud, right? Yeah, let's break that down. Unpacked, it means municipalities are seen as smaller, localized bodies composed of people who govern activities of the residents in a specific area. This is done by making decisions, creating policy, and providing services and programs to those people. However, while this definition shows that municipalities are independent decision-making bodies, they actually have to follow the province, not only the province's decision, but established legislation and new policy objectives that come down the tube. Well, first we need to untangle some important concepts. From an academic perspective, which I'm going to use here, local government is an overarching term that captures two different bodies or organizing of people who govern services and resources at the community level in Ontario. These are municipalities and special purpose bodies. For this video, we're going to focus on municipalities, which are really the most important, but I'll come back to special purpose bodies in my upcoming video. In Ontario, municipalities are categorized into one of two different types of organizational structures. First, we have single-tier municipalities, where the organizing and distribution of all necessary services to residents is provided by and within the boundaries of one municipality. Sometimes, however, it makes more sense to share services across two or more municipalities. In this case, we see the second structure, double or two-tier municipal. This organization of governance is divided into an upper level or body of decision makers made up of representation from across all the lower level bodies. The upper level is usually called the county or regional authority, while the lower levels are individual municipalities, such as townships or cities. To complicate this even more, each individual municipality is likely divided into wards, specific zones within the municipality. This can be confusing, so let's use Selwyn Township as an example. Selwyn Township is located in Peterborough County and is situated in the Kawartha Lakes region of Ontario. Looking at this map of Peterborough County, you can see Selwyn is one of 8 lower tier municipalities, while Peterborough County is the upper tier. This means each lower tier municipality oversees services specific within their boundaries, such as marriage licenses or building permits. However, each municipality also shares services with the other 7 lower tiers, like recycling collection. To plan for and implement these shared services across the county, all the lower tiers have representatives who come and sit on county council and debate these ideas. Selwyn Township itself is divided into 3 wards, Ennismore, Smith, and Lakefield. Each ward has one councillor elected to represent the people who rent or own property within that ward's boundaries. The link to Peterborough County is that 2 of Selwyn's 5 councillors, the Reeve and the Deputy Reeve, are elected by voters across all 3 wards to represent them on Peterborough County Council. In a nutshell, municipal government in Ontario is important because municipalities spend billions each year to provide the public with basic yet important services. However, some services are mandatory, meaning legislation or human rights require them, while others are optional. Councils can decide whether or not to provide them. This really makes municipalities distinct. In turn, voting in municipal elections is important because residents of each ward vote for a candidate that they think can make critical decisions about their services, which are accessible or not, and they do it in a respectable manner with residents' tax dollars. Another important aspect is the history of our township and individual wards. Most wards in Ontario, such as Ennismore, were once one of 800 individual municipalities providing their own services to smaller populations. In 1998, Ennismore and Smith were forced by the province to merge together, otherwise called amalgamation, and later in 2001, the village of Lakefield joined us as well. When this occurred, a lot of tensions became apparent, including the difference in resources shared or accessed by each ward. For example, Ennismore and Smith were and still are prominent agricultural communities with households living on wells and septic, while Lakefield is a rural settlement area developed with urban-style resources such as water and sewer services. After 1998 and the 2001 amalgamation, Smith and Ennismore taxpayers believed their money was being distributed to support services they were not receiving. However, this was misinformation. Ennismore residents did not pay for any costs related to water or sewer services in the village of Lakefield and Woodland Acres in Smith Ward. Only households that have those services pay for them, and this is guided by legislation. In the past, this misinformation has led to further tensions across our communities, especially when we're discussing new projects and incurring new costs. Over time, as our township has built up services and reserves, we are seeing councillors making compromises in order to benefit all people across Ennismore, Smith, and Lakefield, not just their own wards. However, the historical tensions noted still run deep within our tight-knit communities, and between you, me, and the fence post, residents who recall the past don't forget it, and they remind councillors all the time. Today, Selwyn Township is one of 444 municipalities in Ontario. Each ward within Selwyn remains unique, and it's important for councillors to be aware of this history, the current issues, as well as the future needs and opportunities. Additionally, as explored today, in Canada we have many layers and kinds of bureaucratic administration with deep history, and it's very confusing and tough to navigate. Therefore, it's helpful for a councillor to have a strong understanding of the body they're working for. Otherwise, time and money are wasted and opportunities will be lost. Altogether, Selwyn residents should select ward councillors who they think will best advocate for and represent their community. In Ennismore, our councillor of 20 years has decided to retire, and with 3 of our 5 councillors leaving, we need someone with the knowledge and skills to help make the transition smooth, efficient, and effective. I believe I'm the best candidate to represent Ennismore. My family and I are deeply connected to the community, so I'm aware of the issues facing residents. And I also have a strong understanding of all the different levels of Canadian government and public administration, as this is what I'm currently completing my PhD in. In the coming weeks, I'm going to demonstrate my knowledge and share some of this insight in short videos, looking at the different role of councillors, deconstructing our tax dollars at work, and parsing apart the issues facing our community. Thanks for watching. I hope this information has been helpful. Did you like the content? Over the course of my campaign, I'll be releasing more short videos diving into the important facets of municipal government and politics in our township. The goal is to educate others, make municipal politics more engaging, and promote my campaign ahead of the 2022 Selwyn Township election. Want to know more about what I have to offer? Add a comment. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to make others aware.